everybody, to Wisdom on the Front Porch. I have a very special guest here today, Bill, and in a minute I'll let him introduce himself to you. But I want to thank you for being here as our guest. You can always support this through going to the website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com. We also have the and print magazine, Wisdom on the Front Porch, and you can subscribe to that. Comes out 6 times a year. Why 6? Because we don't want to overload you with so much. You've got so much bombarding you now. These are quality articles, quality information to give you that meat and potatoes that you need right now. Of course, we always put a little dessert in there too. That makes it better. So, Bill, I'm so glad you're here. I see you've got your Built for Life. We were just talking a little bit before the show about your books and some of the other things you have going on. So why don't you give us a really quick introduction of who you are and what you do?
Awesome. So thank you for this opportunity to be on here. It's very exciting for me to be here today. So my name is Bill Korman. Let's see, I'm married, have 4 kids, just became a grandfather 3 months ago. It's very exciting in that realm. I have 4 kids from 29 down to 18. And
Oh,
so the
wow.
amazing gifts and blessings in our life. Married to amazing Kimberly Korman, and we own a company called Built for Life Financial Agency. Throughout my journey, I started out in the military, 20 years in the Navy, retired from there, went to work for the government after that. And through the journey, I've owned multiple businesses, serial entrepreneur. Recently released a book called The 168 Game, Time Ownership versus Time Management. It's been a lifelong project for me of helping people take back control of their lives. And through the process, I went through a significant life event in 2000, the end of 2008, which led me to get very curious and study how real wealth is built in America. And I saw the disaster from the recession happen to friends, family members, and I vowed that I was going to learn what the wealthy knew about money and finance, and then start teaching it to middle-class America to bring back hope to middle-class America. So that was the inspiration behind starting Built for Life Financial Agency in 2017.
Awesome. Awesome. Reminds me the story of um oh yeah. My brain just lost it that fast. Um, Never mind. I'll go on to something else. Napoleon Hill. There we go.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he asks a lot of people what to do. And I think that's really great advice because the more you ask, the more you're going to find out. And if you're not sure, if you're new in something, yeah, definitely ask everybody. Um,
Yeah,
so
and Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich it was the first book outside of, because when I was in school, I paid people to read for me, and then I submitted my. So I got into business, and one of my mentors said, "Readers are leaders, and readers readers." He said, "You need to read this book," which was Think and Grow Rich. It literally changed my life. Outside of the Bible, it's the book that I always go to. I reread it at least twice a year. So I'm
wow.
glad you mentioned that, because that was kind of the framework of me understanding what I needed to do, who I needed to become to be successful in helping people, and that's definitely in the world of business.
That's awesome. Gordon Melville told me the original book is bigger, had a different title. And if I could remember things so fast, I could tell you that right now. But I
It's
am,
called The Law of Success. It's like this big.
that's it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
it's
But I
wild.
think that's great. That's great. There's a few people I know, and I'm only going to say a few because I know a lot of people, but the ones who have read the Napoleon Hill book, um, the condensed version, I'll say,
Yeah.
has it's made an impact in their lives. And I think it's really something if you as our audience haven't read that book yet, I would really recommend getting it. Now you're going to see that there's Napoleon Hill plus this other author and whatnot. Well, because his book is out of the copyright area, anybody can get the information now and put their name on it as they put in a few other things with it. But the substance is right there. Um, wow, that's really great. It's really intriguing to find that a book can change people so much. But I have a different podcast for that, which I would like you to come back on now. It's called 52 Plus New Books, and it's more about the author and the story behind the book. So when you get the book to read, you're going to know the behind the scenes things, what went on with it, either developing it, well, including a little bit of the journey of writing the book, but why did you write the book and the information in it? But I really want to ask you about something. we talked earlier and you said that you seek God in all things you do, and then you listen. You told about the stone, the brick, and the piano, and I'd really like you to tell tell that little quick little story about the stone, the
Sure.
brick, and the piano.
Sure, absolutely. So my faith journey has been I joke around with people, but this is actually how it happened. I said my faith journey is God was there throughout through everything in my life, and so but I thought that I had these great ideas and I would just go with it, and I would say, hey, why didn't this work out? You know, I thought this is what you know, this is what I wanted to do, and I was talking at God instead of asking Him to have a conversation. So I always tell people that obviously you can see on the thing, the big head, and so I said he would throughout my life he would drop little pebbles on my head, and I go, man, no big deal. I keep walking, and then every once in a while he'd drop a brick on my head, and I go, ooh, that hurt. But then I would still keep doing knucklehead stuff and doing it on my own. Then he would drop a piano on my head, and then I would stop and pause and go, oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about. You want me to
You got
actually
my attention.
seek you, right? Seek you, ask you first, and then move. Wait for you to give me the sign to move. So yeah, so I tell that story all the time. You know, it's kind of a funny way, but that's exactly my life. So
Yeah. So how do you go about? We'll just talk about this real briefly because we have so much to talk about. How do you go about see, instead of, doing your thing, well, aren't I supposed to do my thing? Because that's my desire to do it. And then, God's just along with that. So how do you change that so we don't get the pianos dropped on our heads? I would rather like, don't throw a stone at me, but if you need my attention, I'd rather it be that than the piano.
yeah, so that's a great question. So I have a daily routine. It's been one of my the success, one of the guy I've got to know pretty well over the last year. Jose Escobar runs the Connected Leaders Academy.
Mm.
He and I talked about this, over a year ago. This kind of this walk and having this deliberate daily routine, right? The secret success is found in your daily routine. So every morning, I get up earlier than everybody else in the house, and I go through routine. I read my daily affirmations, and then I go into meditation and I go into prayer. And what I instead of talking at God, I ask God now, what is it you need me to hear? So every single day, every single morning, every single night, same routine. And I ask God, so what is it you need me to hear? And then I'm still. I literally don't say another word. I'm just sitting there, in prayer, and I may be on my knees for 15, 20 minutes, and I'll hear, I'll hear a voice say, I want you to do this, or, keep moving, or I'm proud of you, I love you. I'm going to send some things your way, and then, I wrap it up with say, if there's anybody that needs my help, anybody that you want to connect me with, that needs the connection, if let me be the vessel, let me be that vehicle, and please send them my way today. And so and I do it
Wow.
with all of my agents in my company. I started this with them about 4 years ago, and I said, look, I want you guys are going to challenge with me to do this daily routine every morning. I want you to say your affirmations out loud in the mirror morning and night, naked. And they all started laughing. They go, what is it? Did he just say? He just say? I said, yes. And there's a reason. There's a psychology to it. I want you to do it because in our company we have 4 pillars: faith, family, fitness, and finance, in that exact order. And I said, one of the things that is, especially with my guys as entrepreneurs, my company, we got a huge diverse company, but men and women, and 53% of my company is actually women. I said, one of the things that everybody struggles with today is setting aside time for their health. I said, so that's why we built one of our pillars is fitness. And so I said, what you're going to do by saying your daily affirmations in the mirror every single morning and night naked is you're going to look at yourself, right, in your most vulnerable, position, and
Can't
you're
get
going to
more
say,
vulnerable than that, especially the older you get.
exactly. And you're going to ask yourself this question: I love what I see, or I don't like what I see. And you know what the cool thing is? The person in the mirror is the only one that can change it. And so that process
Wow.
of going through those affirmations, in that vulnerable position every single morning, every single night, is going to move you. It's going to move you in a direction that you want to go. And again, that habit. So that's where that, I've found massive success. In Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he says the secret to success is hidden in your daily routine. So that's what he found from interviewing all those successful people. They had a standard routine they kept to every single day.
Cool. So it's faith, family, fitness, and what was the fourth one?
Finance.
Finance.
Yeah, the 4 F's in that order: faith, family, fitness, and finance.
Okay.
And what we tell our agents is that if you focus on, and everybody I've trained us on, if you focus on the first three, the money takes care of itself. But that's the problem with money, is that in middle class America, we've been taught to chase money, right?
Right.
Go to school, get an education, go get a job, work your 40 hours, work your overtime. We're chasing money, and it doesn't work. You're on this wheel, the rat race, and then we can't
Oh,
seem to
yeah.
figure out how to get off of the rat race, right? And then maybe we launch off it or jump off of it when we get to retirement age. So that's in our company. Our focus is to help people understand how real wealth is built, how to get out of the rat race, and to move into a journey, right? A life journey, and to build harmony in their life instead of, just, trying to just, spin 15, 20 plates a day.
Yeah. So, in my family, um, I have my daughter who's working. She's worked almost all of her, adult life, even in uh, high school. And her son just enrolled in the military, going to be going in November. He heads out. And so for her, but how can you start something like this at her age? And I'm not going to say my age because, we'll start with her. Most people, that I talk to are in their 40s, the late 40s, going early 40s. Anyways, they're getting closer to older life. They know things are changing. Their kids are all growing up, and it's like, and they may be thinking now, because you don't think about these things so much when you're young. I'll worry about retirement and all of that stuff later, but that's really when you need to be thinking about it. But someone her age and getting close to, another 20 years, I will be 65, time to retire. Maybe in 20 years in this job, I'm ready to do something else. But if they're not financially set, what do they do? So how do you teach somebody, or is that where can you start right there with what you do to show them how to be financially set to have that legacy to pass on, at least a financial legacy. There's other legacies too, but
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll give you a two prong answer to that. So from a client perspective, when somebody comes work with us, it's never too late to start, because if you don't do something, we know what the result's going to be, right? So
oh
you may
yeah,
not end up with the massive nest egg that you wanted to, but when you work with us, you'll definitely be better off with not working, right? Not having a
yeah,
conversation. So from a client perspective, we teach them the Warren Buffett success principles of personal wealth, not what he does on the business and invest side, but on personal wealth side. Warren Buffett says you need to build wealth using what he calls the three ways money grows. That's having fixed
okay,
strategies, right? Those are savings. Money market accounts, savings accounts, things like that, bank products. You need money working for you in the market, right? That's called variable. You need variable products, which is your
okay,
401ks, IRAs, mutual funds, stocks, crypto, real estate. But then you need a mix and indexing. And he recommends getting index strategies to balance out your portfolio using life insurance. He says that life insurance
yeah.
companies offer amazing products that they take the risk away, and you can partner with them on the market growth. So the
I've heard
market
a
goes up,
lot
you make
about
money.
that lately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because in the financial world, very few financial companies, financial advisors, financial planners ever talk to people about life insurance from an investment perspective. But if you look at Oprah, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and the list goes on, if you look at their personal portfolio, they have 20, 30, 40% of their personal portfolio invested in life insurance in whole life, index, universal life, annuities. They make money, they park it into annuity. Why? Because it can never lose money, and it is going to grow, and an annuity will give you a guaranteed lifetime income. So they make money in the
Wow.
businesses, industries, and they move money to a place where it can still grow, but not at risk in the market. So when we show this to clients, it's literally a game changer. And that's why our
Mhm.
clients refer everybody to know to us, because we don't charge for our services, and that has been huge. We have a very, very diverse company, so we can reach everybody across middle class America, and that gets us in the door because our agents look, act, and talk like them, their family, their community, and so that gets them the credit. The trust is there, the credibility is teaching them the strategies that Warren Buffett says, and we don't charge them. right? And so because of that,
Yes.
they want to refer everybody in their family to us, their kids, all that kind of stuff. So it's never too late to start. Obviously, my passion is I teach YMCA. I teach the free. We give a bunch of free webinars, seminars, because I love working with young people because they're our future, right? So if we can get them started right, we show clients you can put $100 a month to an index universal life policy from the time that the child is 1 to 18, $100 a month. Never put into it after 18. Like stop. Put into index universal $100 a month till they're 18. Stop investing, and by the time they're 62 years old, they'll be over $1 million in that
Right,
life insurance
right.
policy. And people were
Yeah.
like, "Are you kidding me? I spend more than a month in Starbucks. Yeah, I can put it into a kid's policy, and I can set my kids up for legacy, generational wealth." I said, "Yes." And so just simple things like that changes the game. And now from a personal perspective, the industry that we're in, right? The financial strategists, we specialize in life insurance. Life insurance is the second highest paid industry in the United States behind professional sports, right? It's not as
Wow.
sexy as like real estate or, doctors or attorneys. And I was in the medical field for a long time. So I mad respect to our doctors, nurses, all of our folks in the medical field. We need more and they need to get paid more. So shout out to all of our medical professionals out there. But that's not from a industry perspective. Professional sports is number one in the United States, and number two is life insurance. So when someone's
Wow.
looking to get out of the rat race, we have a national company. So I have agents all across the United States and Puerto Rico. When they come work with us, you can still keep your job. You can work with us part-time. We'll teach you the industry. We'll teach you how to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and build your own personal legacy. Right. And then the cool thing is, as I was sharing with you before the show started, that I was working for the government. I started my company part-time, and in 15 months, I was making double in my part-time business, helping people with their money and finances, all that stuff. I was making double part-time. I was making in my senior GS position in the government.
Wow.
So we can help anybody. So anybody, watches this, this interview, if you want to learn or even just kind of like find out more information about the industry, is it a good fit for you? Maybe a part-time or full-time career change, reach out to us. We'll do an interview with you and see if it's a good fit.
Right. Now, a lot of people think that you have to have, thousands or thousands of dollars to do some. What if you've got someone who's on a fixed income who maybe gets, I'll just go for a number, $400 a month, because some of the incomes that are fixed are really low. I
Yes.
especially into today, I was shocked at how low some of the income is. So what can they do? I mean, they need something to help build themselves up. Are
Absolutely.
they thinking we're just too poor? I can't afford it. I barely make it now.
Yeah, because we found out doing a lot of research, how do most of us determine how we're doing financially? We get up in the morning, we walk out the front door, we look to the left and the right, our neighbors, right? 2 kids, 2 cars, a lot of debt, me too, off to work I go. That's kind of our litmus test for middle class America.
Right.
In our neighborhood, we're not doing any really worse or any real better than the people around us. So I guess I'm okay. Now, we would like more, we like to do more. And so you get that frustrated drive on Friday when you're frustrated with your boss and the commute home, like, I need to do something different. Then you get home and you go into your routine and you don't, right? So procrastination, we talk about with our clients, the three enemies of money. Number one is taxes. Number two is inflation. Number three, that we call it the big P word, is procrastination, right? So when that's why we don't charge for our services, because we know that we live by the law of abundance. We know that if we give this information away, it's going to change the way middle class America thinks. It's going to bring back hope, and they're going to want to work with us. So that's how we've set up our company. So there's never too late to start. We work with clients on fixed income. I got 18-year-olds that are working at McDonald's, making $12, $15 an hour that are clients. And I've got people that are in their 90s that are clients. So it just depends on what you want to accomplish, your time horizon. We have an incredible team that will do the best we can with the time we have to get you into strategies that will help you hit your goals. Obviously, the earlier start, the better, but it's never too late, because again, if you don't start, we know where you're going to be. So even we have clients that are on fixed income, they start putting money into an indexed universal life with a compounding effect over the years, where you're getting the growth of the market with no risk. That's incredible. because you get to invest in something where the money goes in there and compounds. You know, the insurance company partners with you. So if the market does well, you get interest credited in your policy. In index universal life, you get life insurance, you get living benefits. 47% of people purchase life insurance today when they find out about living benefits. What are those? It's a rider inside the life insurance that says if you get sick, heart attack, stroke, cancer, major burns, disease of any organ, blindness, lose a limb, anything like that, it's a qualifying event. You can access up to 95% of your death benefit while you're still alive. That's
Oh,
called living benefit.
nice.
So when people see that, they go, wait a minute, I have a term policy years ago, doesn't do that. I had a whole life policy. It's been around about 27 to 30 years now, living benefits, and it's been a game changer. Right. There are a lot of people that had issues, complications and things that happened after COVID. Strokes are up. We're having 30-year-olds having strokes today. It's like crazy.
Oh,
What's going
yeah.
on?
Yeah.
We've got heart attacks are up. So if that happened to you and you had one of these policies while you're healing up, because we have a high survival rate, right? Because of our medicine and access to
Right.
healthcare here, emergency rooms and stuff. But then what happens when you're recovering? You're out of a job. How do you pay your bills? Well, if you had a policy with living benefits, we send a letter to an insurance company. Again, you can access up to 95% of your death benefit today to pay the bills so you don't lose your house. You don't have to file bankruptcy. We do massive seminars nationally on the power of living benefits. So now in Index Universal Life, you have death benefit, you have living benefits in case you get sick, and then you have this tax-free accumulator account, right? And I did say tax-free. Your money grows inside of an Index Universal Life tax-free, and you take it out tax-free. You access it whenever you need money. So unlike your 401k, you can't touch to your 59 and a half. Inside of an Index Universal Life, you can take the money out whenever you need. And so it basically, the policy becomes your bank. And that's why they call the concept infinite banking, because you put money in, you invest it, it compounds. When you need money, you loan yourself money. And if you loan
Okay.
yourself
Right.
the money, when you pay the loan back, you don't have to, it's your money. But if you pay the loan back, guess who gets the interest? You do, instead of the bank. And so instead of borrowing from the
Isn't
bank
that
for buy
nice?
cars and all that stuff. And so the concept that the wealthy have been using for 120 something years, 130, 127 years, is they use life insurance as their wealth tool, and it creates a bank for them, to take money
Nice.
out, put money in, and this way they eliminate the bank from the equation, and that even adds to their wealth compounding faster.
That's really cool. I like that. Um, so we kind of got a little off topic, not really, because we're finding out about you and what you do, but um, I want to know more about you. Who is Bill? I understand that there's a difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding. Let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Yeah. So so powerlifting, bodybuilding. So I thought I wanted to be a bodybuilder when I was in my 20s. So I hired a trainer, and after 6 months of working with me, one morning at gym, he says, "Can I have an honest conversation with you?" I had to get upset. I said, "Sure." He said, "You are not a bodybuilder." He said, "You don't have the diet discipline." He says, "Your personality is more of like you like being on teams and things like that." He says, "Bodybuilding is an individual sport, and you don't have the diet discipline for it. You have the genetics. I can work with that, but," he said, "Let me introduce, have you ever heard of powerlifting?" I said, "No." So he takes me to another room in the gym, and he goes, "These are powerlifters." And they were all hanging out with each other, helping each other out and all that stuff. So I go, this is cool. I want to be part. So powerlifting is you against the weights, right? And it's like a brotherhood or sisterhood. The cool thing I love about powerlifting is that if you keep yourself healthy, you can compete in the sport until your 70s. I've been to events where we have men and women in their 70s and 80s still competing because they've taken care of the body, they did it right, they're healthy. So I loved it because I found it was like another family, like it's a brotherhood, sisterhood. So when you go to events, everybody helps each other out. They go, "Hey, it's been a year since I've seen you." It's like when I would go to bodybuilding events, it was like they all couldn't stand each other. Like so I
Oh,
love
wow.
powerlifting because it's like that community, right? And so again, we built our company that way, our family, everything's, we call it the BFL family. So everything in our life is about family and community. And so I love the sport because it's set up like that.
That's awesome. And I think you were saying that a lot of people in their 50s are the ones who are setting the world records.
Yeah, if you look
That's
at
just
most of
phenomenal.
the world records have been broken by because people have been in the industry, and year after year you get better and better and better and better. So many of the world records have been broken by people in the late 40s, early 50s, even some of them into their late 50s, because they just get better. Technology training gets better, and if you stay healthy, your numbers build up, build up, build up, and then eventually you're in a position to break a national world record. So it's very exciting.
Wow, that's that's phenomenal. I like that. And let's see, you were in the Navy for 20 years. You've been managing businesses your whole life. That I want to hear about. You've
Yes, ma'am.
had a lot of businesses. What is a serial entrepreneur for those who may not know? And we're not talking Kellogg's or General Mills here in
Right. Yeah.
Abisto,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Not that
So,
kind of
so
cereal.
what is a serial entrepreneur and how do you know? Maybe a lot of people have been one and didn't realize it.
Absolutely. So you have entrepreneurs, you have intrapreneurs. Those are people that work at companies, but they think and act like they're the owner, right? So if you own a company, you definitely want to hire or develop intrapreneurs. And then there's serial entrepreneurs. These are serial entrepreneurs are ones that absolutely, with every fiber in their being, they love creating something. They love creating something new. They love solving a problem. They see a problem, they go, I can figure that out. And then they develop a company around it. And then they either build it as their passion or maybe they sell it off and they go on to something else. And then they see another problem and they go tackle that. So serial entrepreneurs, most of them have one or two or three businesses going at the one time. I help coach and mentor a couple business owners, men and women that have 7, 8, 12 businesses, like the massive serial entrepreneurs. I'm like, and so with my book, The 168 Game, that's why I was coaching them on how do you create harmony, right? As an entrepreneur, there's no such thing as balance.
Yeah,
This
I
the
love
goal is
that.
to
I
seek
love that.
harmony. And
Yeah.
so I teach them how to develop harmony while keeping all of their businesses up and running, but not sacrificing their health or their family along the way. So a serial entrepreneur is someone who it loves entrepreneurships, loves capitalism, free enterprise, and they love seeing problems and solving them. So
Yeah.
that's what a serial entrepreneur is.
Yeah. I've had a few people tell me can only do one thing at a time. And then I see people that are doing 3 to 6 things at a time. And it's like, how can you only do one thing? Because some of them, they all correlate with each other in some way or another. Some of them, they're each so different from each other, and yet they're still making a big impact in every one of them. So, yeah, I think a lot of it could be just who you are and how your mind thinks and what you're able to do at this time because we always are learning. You can always learn how to do more. So,
Yep.
and I know for starting out, you probably should concentrate on one thing first, get that
Yes.
down, and
Yep.
then you can start figuring out these others. So,
What I
yeah,
coach people to do is to create your Mississippi River, right? Find something you're really, really passionate about that you can get involved in, solve a problem
like
there.
podcasting.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Podcasting, right? Being able to get people's messes out there, get the world, the incredible stuff you're doing. And so you do that, and that creates a revenue stream. And we teach people how to create passive residual income. That Mississippi River, just like the actual Mississippi River, has all these little fingerlets that come off of it. That's
Right.
where you build your other businesses. But it's very hard to do. One of my original coach and mentors said, you can't ride two horses to the finish line, right? So he said, build the one first, build that massive racehorse that's going to
Right.
take you to the winner's circle enough times where you have the capital and the financial backing to then go on
Okay.
to other ventures, right? So I wanted to start, my wife and I started a nonprofit recently called Their Voice Global Warriors, focused on going after human trafficking. I wanted to start that business, that nonprofit 9 years ago. But through the process of having coaches and mentors, he says, my mentors say, you're not ready, right? You're still building this other thing. Don't do that
Yeah.
yet. Wait. So the other thing in success is having the right associations, right? The associations you have, the books you read, the events you attend are all part of your recipe for success. In the book, I talk about all of the research. It's not me. It's science has proven that multitasking is doesn't work, right? Multitasking is a myth. But what you can do is you can do multiple things if you build systems. You can never outgrow your business, will never outgrow your systems. So what I teach people to do, how to build the right systems. Like for my company, we built a CRM from scratch because the company that I partnered with didn't have a CRM. So we built it from scratch because I wanted to grow faster then everybody around me, I had this mission to go after, of bringing back hope to Milka. So I built a CRM to handle all of our business, to track everything, to help us grow. And so our business literally went like this, because I was being held back, because I was found myself going to the old relic of time management and multitasking. I'm like, nope, this is wrong. How do we scale? Well, we build systems to handle the volume. And
Okay, I
so
have a
so that
question
that's
for you
another thing
before we
too.
go on. Sorry,
Yes.
I do want to interrupt you. You said multitasking doesn't work, but yet it sounds like that's what you're doing. So maybe explain the difference.
Absolutely. So what you want to do is you want to first of all, you establish your morals, values, principles, then you establish your goals. And then what you do is you are then become very disciplined that anything you add to your calendar, you ask this question: is this thing I'm about to do or add to my calendar, is it moving me closer or further away from my goals? And that keeps you,
Oh,
that lens, that qualifier question you ask yourself every day in the 168 game, building out your weekly schedule, your weekly tasks and all stuff. You ask yourself that question. Over time, you go from a time ownership apprentice to a journeyman to a master. That's the game, the 3 levels to the game. And so what happens is you find that you're no longer multitasking, you're assigning, right? You're giving tasks, you
okay.
delegate down to the lowest competent level. If you don't have somebody, you hire somebody. Because what we found in multitasking is that, sure, you can get 2 or 3 or 4 things done, but nothing's ever 100%. Right.
Right,
And the way you
right.
grow and scale, and the reason people find that they're not moving as fast, is because they're not focusing on the most important things enough, because they're spreading their time out over all these things. Right. A lot of things what I coach entrepreneurs to do, they're hesitant because they're not making enough money yet of hiring staff. I'm like, well, you have to, because if
Yeah.
you're the visionary, you're the founder, the visionary, you can't be doing all the other tasks and stay focused on being a visionary. You
So
have
that's
to
part of
spend time working
stewarding your
in the
finances
business.
correctly.
Exactly. So you have to work in the business some, but then you have
Right.
to work on the business. And so that's where, I mean, if
Okay.
you look at all these studies, they show you that the studies going back 50 years or 50-year journey of studies that say multitasking doesn't work, but tasking does, right? Tasking,
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
okay, I have to get this done, is critical. Am I the best person to do it? No, this is not my gallons,
Yep.
talents and gifts. We have our agents do a thing called Strength Finders, the book, and we help them identify what are their strengths. I want to help them move forward in their strengths and not focus on stuff that they don't have a talent or strength for. We can hire somebody to do that. We can find someone who has that talent to match them up to. Then you find yourself stop multitasking and being task driven and system driven. And so one of my other the good friends, mentors, and coaches, he started an organization called Rise Up Kings. Skylar Lewis, he wrote a book called the 2-Day CEO, and it's all about how he created systems to run massive companies where he only had to be present 2 days a week to
Oh,
run these
wow.
massive companies, because he created systems, developed people to run those operations. So so again, if you focus on systems, you eliminate multitasking, you get more done. You'll be amazed. You actually get more done, and things are moving from all the way to, instead of leaving them at 80% done, they're moving to 100% completion.
Nice. Nice. Wow. I like that. Strength finders. Wow. Yeah, you're talking about that, and I'm realizing I think I did the calendar thing without even realizing what I was doing. Because now my calendar, I've noticed what I have in it because I've been trying to do the self-care and not overdo it, and my calendar is very full. That's why I have Wednesday just for me, not my husband, not anything else, just for me. If I want to work outside on the ranch, or I want to work in the house, or I want to paint or whatever I want to do. That's just my time. Although, towards the evening, I do stick in 1 or 2 things. I don't know. But I have noticed, and I'm looking at it right now, it's like the things that I have in here are now things that are moving me forward. To where before, I mean, my calendar was completely full every day, sometimes 6 days a week. And yeah, a lot of it was not moving me forward. There were things I thought I had to do what I was doing. Maybe they were at that time and point, but I totally agree with you. I think there was a lot that maybe wasn't necessary, and it took me a while to figure that out. But hey, kudos. I just realized
There you go.
I'm doing a
Congratulations.
thing.
Yeah, so you were doing a 168 game without even realizing it. So
Didn't even know I was
congratulations.
doing it. But that's cool. It's cool when we can find things like that. And I'm going to celebrate because, hey, that was something to celebrate. You know, you got to celebrate those little things in life
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is great. Gosh, I have so many questions to ask you, and I know we don't have enough time for all of them. This is going to be one really long podcast. Um, I will ask you this. Do you ever have a time and is it in every business you have when you say, I'm not quitting until I solve this problem? Because you've got something that maybe seems like it's just a problem and you really want to quit, but you have to tell yourself you're not quitting. Does that happen to you?
Oh yeah, all the time, all the time.
Wait, all the
And not
time.
just
Oh,
this
wow.
business, another business. Yeah, so we have to go back to this is why, and I do it myself, and then I coach people to do as well. You have to go back to what is this? What is it you're trying to solve, right? And what have we tried so far? So I always talk about, like the light bulb, right? 9,999 attempts, and just one got it right? And he
Right,
never
right.
quit, right? He never quit. So so I asked him, I said, how why did you what drove you to solve this problem, right? And then from there I asked them, okay, let's look at what you've tried. Have you thought, and for me, I'll say, okay, Bill, what haven't we thought about? I bring the team together. Okay, what are we missing here? There's something that we haven't
Right.
done yet. We haven't cracked the code on. We haven't asked the right. What questions are we not asking? Right. And so then we process through that, and then we keep going, and then and unless God intervenes to me and says, no, I want you going in a different direction, we keep moving. And that's what I coach people through as well. I said, okay, what if we solve this problem? Right. And that's the question people ask. If. I say, no. I said, don't say if, you say when. When we
Okay.
solve this problem, it's going to do, I'm going to feel. So we're human creatures, we're driven by emotion. I said, how is it going to make you feel when you solve this problem? And I keep them focused on that emotion because that wakes them up the next day, right? I said, listen,
Yeah.
quit tomorrow morning. Don't quit tonight. Go to bed, right? Say your prayers, do your routine. Quit tomorrow morning. And they say, okay, I'll call you tomorrow morning. I'm gonna quit. Guess what they do? They call the next morning, but they don't quit
Yeah.
because you have to get outside of that into the emotion of, and that's what I walked them through. I said, listen, when you solve this thing, how are you going to feel? And they go, oh, this is going to happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. Like when our agents hit that success level where on a part-time basis, we've matched their job income, and now we do a freedom party for them. They're out of their job
I
permanently. They're
like that
full-time
freedom
entrepreneurs.
party.
Yeah, so we call them freedom parties. I said, let's walk through how that day is going to look. And I have them visualize, how they're going to feel, how their family's going to feel, having taking back ownership of their time. Now they're in a position on the path of financial freedom. How are you going to feel? That emotion is powerful. And that's what is the basic human emotion that keeps us going.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I just have to thank you. It's, you talk so fast and I love it. I was always
I'm
told to slow
originally I'm
down. I
originally from
have
New
to tell my
Jersey, so
son to
I've,
slow down sometimes. Yeah. It's like, yeah, we're from Oregon, so it's not not from there. I don't know. But my family's from there. That's interesting. Back in the 1600s, they came from Scotland to England over to the US and that's where they landed. It's Perth Amboy in New Jersey. It
oh, that's
wasn't
wild.
Perth Amboy at the time, but it's like, well, maybe that's where it comes from.
Yeah, my grandparents came over. My grandparents, my oldest aunt, my dad, and my uncle. They were actually escaped through the underground in the Holocaust, and they came
Oh,
in,
wow.
obviously through New York, and then eventually settled in New Jersey. So yeah, it's been same kind of immigrant journey. So I'm the first generation of my family actually born in America. My
Awesome.
dad's immigrant. Then my other rest side of my family. Actually, my mom was born here, but my dad and his side of the family are all immigrants.
That's cool. I love hearing stories. I did genealogy. There I go, speaking too fast. I did genealogy, family history for over 40 years, still doing it. So it's up to 50 years now. And fascinated by it, love going in, doing the research. That just lights me up because you're in there, you're digging it, you're wondering, is this the right path? All right, I found the right name. Oh, no, the dates don't match up right. The place, the time, everything else matches up, but that doesn't. In fact, I ran across something, it's probably 10 years ago now when I ran across it. about my dad. Now, if I wouldn't have known about my dad from birth, if something would have happened that I wouldn't have grown up with him and known the stories, I would have thought this other person would have been my dad, and I would have followed that one, and I would have been wrong. Eventually, I would have figured it out. But it's like, it's just amazing how two people can have the same name, live in a same proximity, not even know each other exist. My uncle, he lived in Central Oregon, and he kept getting this mail for a different Leonard Clark, a William Clark, but they were both William L. Clark. He was Leonard. This other one, I don't remember what the L stood for. And finally they met each other, and they're like, wow, about the same age, same, both males, same area. And so it's really difficult sometimes to find genealogy. Not that this is a genealogy podcast, but just a side note on there. We're covering
Yeah,
a lot of things
that's exciting.
today. Oh, I'm getting my light turning on and off here. That's awesome. Okay, gosh, we've talked about so much. I enjoy visiting with you. We've got so much value to give all of the listeners and the viewing audience too. So we're at the time that I don't like, because I have to say goodbye to you for now. So how can they get a hold of you to find out about Built for Life and
Yep.
get to know more?
Great credit. So they can scan a QR code. It's in the background there. They can text the three letters BFL to the number 321-421-5213. They can go to our website, bflagency.com. We would be happy to connect with them, see if we can do anything to help them. Again, all of our services are free. Yes, there is no catch. There's no hidden thing. We make all of our money. All of our commissions come from the 47 partnerships companies we have that we connect our clients to. They pay us from their profit. So not a single penny comes from our clients. So we'd love to,
Nice.
anybody that wants to ask questions, needs help. If you want to learn about this industry, see if it's a good fit, maybe work with us part-time, and see the power of this incredible industry. Would love to sit down and interview you, see if you're a good fit. And so I thank you so much for this opportunity. It was great talking with you today.
Oh, yeah, you too. I really love it. Thank you so much. And thank you, our audience, for being here with me, your host, L.S. Kirkpatrick, on Wisdom on the Front Porch. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care. God
so
bless.
much. Boy.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, Ellis Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen. Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, Ellis Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.